Morning everyone, it's Leeds United match day. We're taking on Sheffield Wednesday away from home in the third round of the EFL Championship season. I'm Andrew, thanks for coming along. And well, a new signing is upon us. Largie Ramazani, the 23-year-old Belgian youth international. He signed from Almeria in Spain, where he's played for 4 years. He's a winger, and he's diminutive, but he's exciting. And well, Largie, it's a bit of an oxymoron, isn't it, for him? But he's certainly going to be, hopefully, a really large presence and a large influence on Leeds United's Championship season. Sheffield Wednesday, then. Well, after the opening couple of games in the EFL Championship, Sheffield Wednesday are ninth. They've got 1 win and 1 draw, 4 goals scored, 4 conceded. So their start's been quite as eventful as ours, and well, I don't think they've had really calls for the manager to be sacked as we have absurdly in the first week or two. So I think our fans, we just need to show some patience. I think it's going to come. I think we are going to win this game. We've had a good last few matches against Sheffield Wednesday. 2-0 win at the end of last season was one of the highlights. But for Daniel Farke, I think in general, I think he's going to keep the similar team selection to the one that played West Brom. I think we showed some solidity. I think we were good at the back. We were awful going forward. So hopefully the same set of players can just provide that spark and that sort of energy that we were lacking at the Hawthorns last week. I think it's important that we get off to a strong start, but then maintain it. I think we've struggled in previous matches to actually maintain the good start that we've had. When we score a goal, we need to press on the advantage, not sit back and just allow the opposition to gain the confidence back and to push on. So yeah, I think this will be a good performance for us. My prediction is 2-0. I'm going to say 2-0 to Leeds. I think we're going to get our first win of the season in the league. And you know what? Patrick Bamford's got a good history against Sheffield Wednesday. I think Patrick Bamford is going to get on the score sheet if indeed he is playing. There are rumours of a few extra people coming in through the door before the end of the transfer window. Now, like I say, I think a central attacking midfielder will be needed. I think fullback is needed. But in general, I think we're shaping up pretty well. I think there's a bit of animosity going on, isn't there, between the Leeds United fans and the ownership at the moment. And I think that's only going to be remedied by results, by winning football matches, and by being solidly in the top 5 in the league table, at least in the first couple of months. I've not known really a start to the season that's been so sort of divisive, really, from a Leeds United point of view. Some people are quite happy, but in general, most people are pretty annoyed with how it's going. Bizarrely, I think the Middlesbrough game has contributed massively to that. Whereas I think in a, shall we say, quote-unquote normal year, I don't think the League Cup game, I don't think anyone would bat an eyelid at us losing a first-round League Cup game. So I think we have to trust Daniel Farke. We have to realise that last season we had such a near miss, and with the quality of players that we had, people were always going to come calling for them. And, and the fact that Victor Orta, even a couple of years after he's left Leeds United, is continuing to prove how much of a muppet he was with some of these release clauses and some of these quite low demands for player services, for release clauses and fees. Orta and Radrizzani, actually, don't get me wrong, they did quite a fair bit of good, but I'm starting to think that the bad is outweighing the good, really, because it's just a hangover from that point, and the legacy of Orta is still hanging over Leeds United like a bad smell. And for me, as soon as there's nothing left from that ownership, the better. And then we can see what the 49ers are going to do. We can actually see what their vision is for Leeds United, and not be hamstrung by bad deals and bad arrangements from previous regimes. It would be interesting to know exactly how much money that we've got to spend out of that 130 million or so that we've brought in sales, because if Daniel Farke wants another 3 players, is it going to be 3 cheapo signings, or is it going to be 3 10, 15, 20 million guys who can really, really help us and are a lot of, have a lot of quality? Let's talk of Manor Solomon potentially coming in. He's a guy who obviously made a lot of impact off the bench in the Premier League for Fulham. And I think he would be a really good addition. The problem is, I think he's one of these players who seems like he's too good for sort of that. He's too good to sit on the bench, especially in the Championship. But then not quite good enough, it appears anyway. At least Postecoglou seems to think that he's not good enough for playing for Spurs, really. So I think that would be a very, very, very good signing, though. If we were to get him, he's very exciting. He's only 25. I think it's a good option. One more player in the wide positions, I think, would be welcome. I think he's a good shout. Hannibal Mejbri, he's a slightly more controversial one. I think even the Man United fans aren't really sure what to make of Mejbri. He seems to have periods of good work, periods of where he just goes missing, a lot of inconsistency. But he's had a couple of loans by now. Never really nailed down a position in the first team, barring maybe a couple of weeks here and there. I'm not sure if he'd be the right fit, but he's certainly a body, and certainly someone who could break out a bit like a Matthias Klick, really, where not many people were really interested, not many people were bothered about him, but then he came out of his shell, and Bielsa brought the best out of him, and he played like a top-level Premier League midfielder for a couple of years. So I think there's definitely the potential, if someone like Mejbri comes in, that could happen under Daniel Farke. But we'll just have to wait and see. I just think we need to galvanise as a fan base. I just think we need to be more together and get behind the team and get behind the manager, and having this sort of negativity, and it's almost tribalistic inside our own fan base for people who like what's happening and people who don't, and we just need to stop. We need to get behind the team. It's called marching on together, not marching on in separate groups. So we'll start with a win tonight, and then we'll build from there. That's all I've got time for today. It's just a short one today. Very busy Friday in store for myself, but I will be back on Monday with a roundup of a lot of the weekend sporting action, a review of this game, the Dutch Grand Prix, and many more little tidbits for you to get your teeth into. So from me, Andrew Woodhouse, it's goodbye, have a great weekend, we'll see you soon.